ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Operation Alpha 2022. For the first time in my recollection, Operation Alpha is actually on Veterans Day this year, which is pretty cool. Since veterans are kind of a big reason why we're here this evening, we will more formally recognize our veterans during the Grog ceremony here in just a bit. For our veterans in attendance tonight, happy Veterans Day. Thank you for your service. And I hope you all enjoyed your free meal at the Golden Corral. For those who don't know me, I'm Bernie Cruz. I'm the Vice President of Support for HVAF. This is my 5th year MC in this event. And once again, I get to say this is our biggest Operation Alpha yet. I think we have close to 350 people scheduled to appear this evening. I can't believe I have that many fans. Okay, that's a lie. We all know the reason more people attend each year is due to the hard work of Ashley Walls and her advancement team. Ashley and her team has worked really hard, sending texts, gathering sponsors, sending texts, advertising the event, sending more texts, coordinating facilities and making our social media posts, and constantly improving our brand recognition. Each year, more and more people attend. And I think we have close to 100 more people this year than last year. So how about a hand for Ashley and her team? This is our 3rd year at the Built-Well, and I think these facilities help make this a first-class event. The growth of this event wouldn't be possible without the generosity of you, our sponsors, supporters, and donors. Thank you for supporting HVAF. We also this evening have some supporters virtually with us tonight. Welcome Facebook Live viewers. I don't know where you are. Something we started a couple years ago for those who are unable to attend in person. So a big welcome for those joining us virtually. Of course, the expectation for those attending virtually is that all the money you save from getting here this evening, from buying an outfit, from getting a babysitter, a dog sitter, those funds all go to HVAF. So that's kind of the deal with our virtual people. So hosting the virtual event this year is Lauren Carpenter. Where's Lauren? Lauren, come out here. Lauren's probably moving a little slow. Last Saturday, she ran the Monumental Marathon, the 13.1, and the nice weather we had with the wind and the rain. So you'll see Lauren walking around with a phone, selfie stick, interviewing people, participating in games, and making sure our virtual audience is up to speed on all of our happenings. All right, so by a show of hands, how many of you are here for the first time? Holy cow. Keep your hands up. Keep your hands up, our fundraisers need to know where you are. We hope you have a great time. Tell your friends about it, and come back with even more people next year. We still have room. Not much, but we still have a little bit of room. Before we go into too far into the evening, if you haven't registered with One Cause, which y'all should have done when you came in the front lobby, now's the time to get that taken care of. You can leave the festivities for just a couple minutes while you do that. Just so we're all on the same sheet of music this evening, the general rundown for tonight's event is we have a couple of guest speakers. They make me bring them up. I don't necessarily want to, but we have to. There's a quick discussion on the games and everything going on. Our famous Grog Bowl ceremony, recognizing this evening the various branches of service. Due to inflation, we only have 2 toasts this year. And then we're going to wrap up the event. So the cigar brand opens, Nathan, our DJ, starts playing, and we're done. That's it, short and sweet. So trying to keep it a little less than we had last year. We'll move right through this. Okay, well, we discuss this every year, and it bears repeating. But certainly for our rookie attendees, I think you all agree this is a classic place. A great location with a beautiful view in downtown Indianapolis. But if it was daylight, you looked right out there to the east, across the river, while we sit inside and enjoy this great event, one of Indianapolis' largest homeless camps is about 1,000 yards east of here, right along the White River. There's probably about 100 people there right now, a few of them veterans, living in some pretty miserable conditions. And that's why we're here, to try to do what we can to raise a little money and try to end veteran homelessness. I say this a lot, only because I mean it. I wish we were out of business. So Operation Alpha is the primary fundraising event for HVAF. Our mission is to serve homeless and at-risk veterans and their families in Marion and surrounding counties, as we have since 1993. In 2021, we served 1,329 veterans and families with rapid rehousing, transitional housing, substance abuse counseling, employment, and legal services. We also provide basic needs such as food, clothing, hygiene items, and we're on pace, unfortunately, to serve even more this year. We'll get back to the program here. I just want to get that out of what we are and what we do and how close there actually is homeless people to us right now. I do need to recognize some people deserving of our thanks that are here with us this evening. I was going to recognize Travis and Hillary Barnes, but apparently Hillary is expecting her third child any moment, any day. So I suppose that's a good enough reason for her not to be here. And Travis decided to stay with her, which I think is a good call. So yeah, I wish they were here because they started this event several years ago in their Hotel Tango's tasting room on Fletcher Place. And this event has grown in both attendance and funds raised to support HVAF every year. So we're so grateful to Travis and Hillary for helping us start what has become our signature event. And we're looking forward to bigger and better Operation Alphas to come. Also here with us this evening, representing the Barnes family is Ginger Barnes, Navy vet, and Operation Alpha is our biggest fundraiser of the year, and although my primary objective is just to drink and have fun, the advancement team insists on announcing a fundraising goal. This evening our goal is $35,000. $35,000 happens to correspond with a 35% reduction in homelessness recently announced by our mayor. So we'll have more on the 35% reduction in just a few minutes. But with the $35,000 goal, like I always do, I did some math. If everyone here, online virtually, gets on their phone right now, opens their One Cause app, and donates $93.33, we'll reach our goal. And then we don't have to listen to Eddie and Arnie drone on about whatever it is they talk about at their level. We can go right to the DJ and start drinking. All you have to do is take out your phone and donate $93.33 right now. All right. You had your chance. Now we have to sit through the Arnie and Eddie show. We do have some 4-star sponsors here this evening with us. Our first 4-star sponsor is Ed Choice, Advancing Educational Freedom and Choice for All. Our second 4-star sponsor is H&F Logistics. You pick the locations, they handle the rest. Got all this off of Google. Our third is Pures, their strategic data management solutions. Real people, real solutions, real success. And we're very appreciative of the support from those companies and all they do for HVAF. So thank you to our 4-star sponsors. I also need to thank our generous 1, 2, and 3-star sponsors. As I said before, you all made this the biggest Operation Alpha yet, and we thank you for your support. Okay, at this time, it's now my pleasure to introduce our new board chair. He's been an active member of our board since 2008. I know a lot of our workforce have been trying to get on his good side since he's been the chair, and not me. I just try to let my actions earn my keep, no buttering up. So ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, it's my pleasure to introduce for the first time in his new role as HVAF Chairman of the Board, Arnie Patterson.
First off, I just want to say welcome to Operation Alpha. This has continued to grow and has become a great success. And we're just really pleased that you're all here tonight. Thank you again to all of our sponsors, to all of our staff, to all the volunteers, and the vendors to make this really happen. Because everything you see and already experienced tonight thus far has been all of the combination of work to make this happen tonight. So we're really grateful for all of that. So I've already told me I didn't have a lot of time, so I'm going to make mine as short and sweet as I possibly can. And that's really hard if you really know me because I can go on for a long time. I got a lot of stories to tell you guys, but I'm hoping to keep it to one tonight. As Bernie said, I've been on board for 14 years now. And during that 14 years, I led a group from our church down to the Mormon Avenue location once a month to serve a meal to HVAF clients. And I got the privilege and honor to get to know lots and lots of my fellow veterans that we were helping through HVAC. So tonight I'm going to share one of those stories with you. And this gentleman's name is Stanley. And I really like Stanley a lot. He's an Army guy, so he's already warmed my heart up. But even better, he's a 19-year-old. Which means he was an armored crewman, and he would have been on my tank, and he'd been my gunner, going out and shooting big rounds. I just love that. Very first time I met Stanley was at one of those dinners that I was sharing with you about. I walked in the door, and I had my Stetson on, because I love wearing my Stetson. And he makes a beeline for me, because he sees the Stetson, and we start having a conversation. And of course, you know, military guys, we always got to talk about West, here, you know, all that. And once I started getting to know Stanley, I found out the kind of man that he really is. And I got to tell you, it's kind of a similar story with all of the veterans. But with Stanley, he had a nice career in the Army. He did I didn't sleep behind her anyway, so. He did 6 years in the United States Army, and he started out driving E1, and he was driving tanks, and then he was a loader in the tank, and then he became a gunner. Which, if you're an enlisted guy, that's like the pinnacle, right? You got to be a gunner, because then you own the tank. You're taking care of that tank. And that's what he did. And he was really, really good at it. And he decided, you know what, it's time for me to come back home, because he's from Indianapolis specifically. And he did so. Got married, started a family, and he started his own business. He was a general contractor. All sounds great, right? Well, then he had his one thing happen. And then when you meet every client, there's always one thing that happened. And for him, his one thing is both of his parents passed away within 6 months of each other. And he's the only child. And it just destroyed him. He just went into a tailspin emotionally. and was in a deep depression. He lost his business. Fortunately, his kids were already in college and had a scholarship. But his wife decided she had enough. She left him, divorced him. He had no house. He had no business. He had nothing except for his truck, his tools. And somebody said to him, you need to go visit HVAF of Indiana. They'll take care of it. So he got his truck, came down to HVAF of Indiana, and he came, and he was at that Normal Woods. That's where he got assigned to. And then within a week, that's when I met him. We had a nice talk about what he needed to do to get himself back engaged and going again. And you know what? He did it. He did it. He said, you know what? I'm going to do that. I know he came over to my house twice for Thanksgiving dinner because I love these guys, right? Leaders always take care of soldiers. I love all my soldiers. And it was just fantastic. He went to school to become a chef. And my wife, Michelle, and I were honored that he invited us to his graduation dinner. This is a dinner where he and his classmates prepare for guests. So that was just, wow, what an honor, right? He graduated, then he moved down to Memphis, Tennessee, where he lives today. By the way, he's on my phone, he's on my speed dial still, because I do talk to him. And he's got his own business. He has a food truck, runs a great business down there. He also works part-time at the VA down in Memphis. So when Bernie was talking about getting out your phone and helping us to hit that $35,000 goal, I want to blow out that $35,000 goal. I'd like to see us do $50,000 tonight, right? Those guys like Stanley need more help. And you guys can do it tonight, right? Whether it's $100 or $500 or $1,000. You know what? I know there's somebody out there right now that says, I got $5,000 I'm going to put towards this. Right? I see some smiles out there. I see you. Come on. All right? It's really important, and it really is for these folks. Right? I'm going to get technical very quickly on the money. The money that you guys donate tonight is unrestricted, so that helps HVAF to be able to take care of all these veterans in a way that we can't when we have a grant that has restrictions. That's why this is important tonight. Okay, so we really do need your help. So tonight's the night. Get your phones out. Let's go for it. Let's help these folks out, right? These are my fellow veterans, my brothers and sisters in arms, and I'm just asking for your help as we go to lead these folks back into society and helping out and doing what we should do. Okay? Thank you very much. I get the honor tonight of introducing Emmy Hildebrand, who's our CEO. Come on up, Emmy. She's going to be very special. So, Emmy has been with HVAF of Indiana for about 10 years now, right? And she first came on because we needed somebody that knew how to talk to the legislature because we didn't have any on staff who knew how to do that. And she certainly did because she came from Dick Luger's office, right? And she did a fantastic job there. Then she became our VP of strategy. And I'll tell you what, we did the right thing, the board did, right? In hiring our first female CEO. Right? She's also our first non-veteran CEO. Her husband is a full-timer in the Indian Army National Guard today. So she's a family member of a veteran, all right? So this is really cool. This is great stuff. And she's been a fantastic addition to HVAF in Indiana. And ever since she's taken over CEO, I got to tell you, everything's been going where it's supposed to go. So give it up for Emmy.
Thank you, Marnie, and happy Veterans Day. Special thanks to all the veterans in the audience, the veterans that serve on our board, and our staff, and my husband, as Marnie said. We're grateful for your service. I'd also like to thank all of our sponsors and ticket buyers, not only for your support tonight, but for coming alongside us to fight veteran homelessness here in Indianapolis. Your support changes lives. When I left today, is the perfect Veterans Day present, I think. I passed a veteran in our lobby who was telling me that his time at HVAF saved his life. And for the last 4.5 years, he's been living in his own apartment just on the north side of downtown. and he credits HVAF for all of that. And we could not do what we do without all of you. So thank you for being here. Tonight, we want to celebrate that veteran, but we also want to celebrate that veteran homelessness has decreased here in Indianapolis by 35% since last year. What that means, yes, celebrate. Nationally, veteran homelessness is at its lowest level in 5 years. And here in Indianapolis, what it means practically is that a third fewer veterans are experiencing the heartache and trauma of homelessness on our streets. Sadly, what that means is that tonight, with the cold air blowing in, I think it's a good reminder that between 500 and 800 veterans will experience homelessness in our community this year. So we have a lot of work to do. And with your support tonight, we can help offer hope, housing, and self-sufficiency to all veterans and their families. Before we show a brief video, I want to extend a special thanks to Ashley Walls-Pierce and her team, as well as maybe 25 or 30 HVAF staff members who are here working behind the scenes to make tonight a successful event. We obviously couldn't do it without them, and we're blessed to have them on our team. I hope you enjoy this video. Thank you.
More veterans are no longer without a home in Indy. According to the annual point-in-time count, the veteran homelessness count dropped by 35% between 2021 and 2022.
Helping veterans and families say their programs have been the root for a massive improvement.
Helping Veterans and Families says data shows there were about 167 veterans who were homeless this year.
It means that a third fewer veterans are experiencing homelessness on our city streets than compared to this time last year.
Hildebrand credits that additional $4 million in federal funding that HVAF was able to get last year during the COVID pandemic with the organization's ability to get more homeless veterans like Grog into housing for longer periods of time. That extra money, though, isn't here to stay.
As we kind of get on the other side of COVID, a lot of those emergency funds are starting to decrease.
That's why HVAF is working on finding other funding sources so the numbers of veterans who are homeless in Marion County can continue to decrease.
We really believe strongly that no veteran should be homeless on our city streets.
Hi everyone, I'm Sanaya, and I just want to send out the most warmest, most humblest thank you for everything that you do. There's a lot of things here without your help that we could not do, and I just want to take the time to just say thank you. I appreciate each and everything that you do for me, and I'm really getting emotional right now, so I'm just going to say thank you.
So we're still celebrating that, and we're hope that we can celebrate even more tonight once we hit that goal. So most of you all, hopefully a lot of you know me. I'm the one that asks you for money every year. I'm Ashley Walls-Pierce. Thank you all for coming out. I know Grog, as I call him, shared some stats with you, but I really want to talk about the numbers by month that we're serving. So in our pantry, it's almost doubled since COVID, how many veterans we're serving through our food, clothing, hygiene pantry. On any given month, we're providing almost 4 services: our housing assistance, employment assistance, our pantry access. We're serving almost 400 veterans a month. It's probably the most ever. So it's what we're doing tonight is more important than it's ever been before. So obviously, just wanted to make it clear that the need is great. We're celebrating 35% decrease, but the need is still tremendously great. So now I'd like to introduce Andrea, who's on the advancement team. She's got some personal experience with challenges that the veterans that we serve face, and I just want her to share a little bit about her story.
This opportunity to stand before you this evening. My name is Andrea Carlisle. I'm the Community Engagement Coordinator for HVAF. My husband is a disabled veteran and served in Operation Iraqi Freedom. He He has PTSD and traumatic brain injury and lost his best friend and his mentor in Iraq. When an RPG hit their Chinook in November of 2003, 19 years ago now, it was the most deadly attack of the war to date. I'm wearing his BDUs in honor of his service this evening. He has always been and always will be my hero. While there were battles he faced when he was at war, I could never anticipate the battles that our entire family would face when he came home. We were briefly homeless. I was an educated woman with big dreams and big goals, but everything changed. My focus became about getting clean clothes for my kids, about getting showers before school, and living with the debilitating fear and anxiety about not knowing what tomorrow would hold. I didn't know about HVAF at the time. Thankfully, we found our way on our own because of a wonderful lady in our church. She let us live with her and eventually took over the lease. And honestly, I don't know what we would have done without her. I can only imagine what a blessing it would have been to have a case manager to walk alongside us and help us navigate all the barriers that we're facing like HVAF offers. Ashley mentioned about the veterans we help. And every one of these is a life like mine, a veteran, many with families, homeless, some living in their car, or some on the street, some needing a job, or some experiencing food insecurity. This is our opportunity tonight to make a difference. My coworkers know that I'm back to having big goals and big dreams. And when Ashley gives me a goal, I always have to exceed it. So I really need your guys' help tonight. So you can help us exceed this goal. So I can prove that to my boss. There she is. Let's help veterans and their families. It's literally in our name, HVAF.
Thank you for sharing, Andrea. We're lucky and blessed to get both of those tonight, to have you on our team and as an advocate for the many veterans that we serve in our community. Now, well, I forgot to mention, let's blow this goal away.
Let's see if I can get the microphone stand to work. Okay. Thank you, Arnie and Emmy, for your comments. It's a great video. So you can tell from the comments and the passion demonstrated by Arnie and Emmy that we're in good hands from a senior leader perspective. I feel good about this organization as we move forward. Also want to thank Ashley and Andrea. Andrea's a very compelling story, and she shares it very well. Thank you for your comments tonight, Andrea. Those are very heartfelt. Let's see if we have any movement on the ticker. It looks like it keeps going up. We got about, I'm not very good at math, never do public math, but so we're not there yet, I can tell you that. Okay, we do have, I'm going to go through very briefly, upsell items. Hopefully you've all seen them on your phones as you checked in. So you should be wanting to know, those canteen cups you see floating around, how do I get one of those cool canteen cups? And what do I do with it once I buy it? So for a mere $25, you can purchase the souvenir cup, and it entitles you to sample our famous grog to be made in this bowl right here in front of us later this evening. You won't want to miss out sampling the grog. Just be careful if you're right. There's a wine toss going on. You get 3 tries. It's some very nice wines. If you bring a bottle, you win that wine. At the end of 3 tries, you haven't got one. Probably had too much wine already, and you don't need any. But we'll give you a consolation bottle of wine anyway, so play as often as you like. Last but not least, for a mere $20, you can purchase a custom branded cigar from Gold Member Cigars. They're downstairs, and you'll be able to enjoy these on the cigar veranda straight across from me after the program ends. Okay, so now the formalities are over. We finally got Arnie and Emmy off the stage. Fundraising goals been stated. Our sponsors recognized. The video shows proof we're making progress. With your support, let's get down to the second most important event of the night, our annual Grog Bowl ceremony. Since we've done this before, many of you know what this is about. For those who don't, you can look it up on Wikipedia. However, for those of you joining for the first time, I'm going to try to give you a brief history so you're not totally lost. The Navy lays claim to the origin of the modern Grog ceremony that evolved from various naval customs. If you don't know, the Navy has a lot of customs because, frankly, what else do you want to do while you're aimlessly wandering around the seven seas? So Grog is a naval term dating from the 1700s, 1740s, if you want to be exact, and referred to diluting the sailor's daily ration of rum with water. The Army also lays claim to a small part of the evolution of this tradition dating back to the days of the cavalry. Legend has it that during the years of the westward expansion, cavalry troopers would mix and share their spirits with one another, thereby ensuring that all fellow troopers had something to drink. The alcoholic spirits usually consisted of whatever an individual trooper's taste was, and when mixed with other alcohol, it created a powerful drink known as the grog, probably due to the groggy feeling you had after you drank those concoctions. These customs and ceremonies have been adopted and adapted by all military services for use during formal unit dinners and messes. However, two common themes unite every grog ceremony: history and alcohol. The historical component usually describes the unit's lineage at a formal dinner or some other mandatory fun event. And the oral history carries forward the legacy of the unit and serves to inform and inspire each successive generation. The alcoholic component, consisting of many and varied spirits, wines, and beers, reflects a tradition of service members being restricted from drinking except during sanctioned events. Although we are mindful that many veterans struggle with alcohol, there is no denying the centuries-old tradition of military service and celebratory drinking after conquering enemies. There are many variations and versions of the ceremony, narrative, and grog ingredients as there are military services and units. We hope you like ours. In years past, we've highlighted battles fought by U.S. forces and the number of service members lost. We've also highlighted the different sections of HVAF. Tonight, since it's Veterans Day, we will highlight our various branches of service. This ceremony, the grog, is meant to be lighthearted and funny, I hope, so that I can go to work on Monday. But our focus tonight is to recognize and highlight the branches of service that many of us in this room dedicated a good part of our lives to in order to protect our values and the American way of life. A somewhat wise cavalry soldier, there are not many of them, and now our board chair once told me, Memorial Day recognizes those who wore the uniform and never made it back. Armed Forces Day recognizes those still wearing the uniform. And Veterans Day honors those who previously served and are still among us. So I hope that puts it in perspective as to what we're here for this evening. Thank you, Arnie. So as we work our way through the various branches of service, and these are not in DoD rank orders, so I don't need anybody coming up after the ceremony and telling me that these are not in order. There's a reason for that. We will ask our veterans in the branch being recognized to stand up if you're able, or raise your hand if you've served. If you serve in more than one branch, please be recognized by each of those branches. I'm going to give a brief history of the branch and then ask our sponsors to pour the appropriate spirit or any other necessary component into our grog. So here we go. Where's Jason True? Come on up here. Come on down. I'll get to Jason in just a minute. So the first branch of service recognized this evening is our oldest, and in my opinion, the best. The United States Army. Army veterans, please stand up and be recognized. your seats. All right, the Army's mission is to fight and win our nation's wars, providing prompt and sustained land dominance across the full spectrum of conflict. At least that's the way I remember when I wrote that. The Army is the only branch of service that taught some of us old-timers during convoy training to drive in the daytime with our lights on and turn them off at night. That's a true story. It's amazing we survived. All right, so our three-star sponsor representing the Army is PH3. PH3 provides security to some of HVAF's more rambunctious properties. Pouring this evening is their president, who himself is a combat service disabled veteran, as well as a Purple Heart recipient, Jason Truitt. Instructions. Jason is going to pour the green punch. Say it to your immediate right. Green punch. Yeah, go ahead and pour it in. Just pour it in. Green punch representing the Army green. He's also going to pour in the bottle of Hotel Tango vodka. Don't worry about spillage. Throw it in there. Once he's done with that, he's going to pour in a can of Upland Wheat Ale. Yeah, y'all good. It's good. The wheat represents the wheat fields many of our first soldiers left to defend our country. All right. Thank you, Jason. You're done. Our next branch is the United States Navy. There we go. Our Navy veterans to stand up and recognize. Raise your hands. Thank you, United States Navy vets. The United States is a maritime nation, and the U.S. Navy protects America at sea and keeps oceans open and free. I don't know how the Navy does it. They make the best movies. Top Gun, Officer and Gentleman, to name a few. Now, the Army did come close in making movies. If you remember, they made Firebirds. That grossed $36 at the box office. The Navy also has great recruiting songs. In the Navy by the Village People. They also have the most famous and longest running recruiting slogan of all time. It's not just a job, it's an adventure. We probably all, most of us in the room remember that. Believe it or not, that slogan ran for over 10 years. So pouring tonight on behalf of the United States Navy is our three-star sponsor, Woda Cooper. Woda Cooper just built and hosted the grand opening for HVAF's newest property, Proctor Place. You may have seen that on television coverage this past Wednesday night. Again, Emmy was hogging the spotlight. But pouring tonight on behalf of Woda Cooper is Nick Surak. Nick is pouring Blue Punch to represent the blue seas defended by our Navy. He's also going to pour in a bottle of Hotel Tango rum. Since if you were paying attention earlier, the rum is what started the tradition of grog rolls. And that we worry about spilling. Please make sure that's all that gets in there. Because there's not nearly enough alcohol. And then he's going to add a little salt from the ocean water of the seven seas. All of it in there. Throw it in there. That's actually sugar. Just so you don't freak out. Thank you, Nick. Appreciate all your thank you, Woda Cooper, for all you do to support the organization. like within the last year and a half. Their new mission statement is fly, fight, and win. Air power anytime, anywhere. Unless they've exceeded their duty day and they're on crew rest. Of course, the Air Force started as the air component of the Army, and then someone got smart and figured out we got to get away from these guys, which is the best thing they could have possibly done. The Air Force gets a lot of ribbing for their tough living conditions and close proximity to the front lines. All right, that may not be entirely true. Back in the day, it was a bad day if you were in the Air Force and your cable was out. Anyway, you know I joke, because the Air Force is probably one of the devil. All right. Helping us to add to our Grog Gold concoction is our right from our 3-star sponsor, the Glick Company, Alex Bannister. Alex, thank you. Alex has the unenviable job of trying to get the honey in. So there's a jar or a bottle of honey right in front there. Just squeeze it in there. There you go. I like to say there's a tie-in between the Air Force and honey that the ingredients call for, so we're just putting it in. You want me to hold that while we go through the rest of this? We'll add the rest of that later. All right. Alec is also going to pour a bottle of red wine to represent the whining you hear at the Air Force base that the golf course is closed. Or they ran out of lots for the Oakland. And then when he's done with that, that's a big bottle of wine. He's going to pour in a bottle of Hotel Tango bourbon. And the reason he's doing that is because bourbon is good. Outstanding. Thank you, Alec, and thanks for all the support and the fine people who live from you. We're going to venture a guess. Our next branch is the Coast Guard. Do we actually have any Coasties out there? Okay, that's all right. There's not many of them. That's the smallest branch we have. But nonetheless, they're still important. The Coast Guard's a unique branch with a real-world mission every day of interdicting smuggling operations on land and sea to ensure our nation's maritime safety, security, and stewardship. You may not know that in times of war, at the direction of the President, the Coast Guard serves under the Navy. If that happens, I bet the Coast Guard comes out with some really good movies. Probably kind of a mixture between, and this is an age reference, The Incredible Mr. Limpet, Top Gun, and Baywatch. And so, supporting and representing the U.S. Coast Guard is our banking partners at Old National Bank. Alan O'Rear is a wealth advisor for Old National Bank. Alan is pouring in some orange punch, one of the official colors of the Coast Guard, so that one actually matches up. He's also adding some fine Hotel Tango gin. I'm guessing the Coasties play a lot of gin while they're waiting to go pull someone out of this shit. Thank you, Alan. And again, thanks to Old National Bank for all that you do for us. This one's going to be interesting, as it is our newest branch. Space Force. Now, I know there are no Space Force vets out there. I didn't say Space Cadets, Space Force. But I know there's some Space Cadets out there. So founded in December of 2019, creating the newest branch of service in 73 years, the Space Force falls under the Air Force, like the Marines fall under their Navy. Their motto is pretty creative, always above. Some Air Force 2-star probably got a promotion out of that. to boldly go where no man has gone before, to seek out new life or new civilizations. That's all, I'm sorry. I think they're still working on their mission statement. All right, so pouring tonight for Space Force on behalf of RNDC is Rob Wilson. Rob is pouring a can of Sun King. It's Sun Space. It was late when I wrote this. Anyway, Rob from RNDC, which is the Republic National Distributing Company, proud distributor of Hotel Tango products, is pouring a can of Sun King, Osiris Pale Ale, and also Hotel Limoncello. Thank you. I'm looking at Ginger. Ginger's like, yeah, you got it. He's pouring limoncello because we felt like it just needed a little bit more alcohol. All right. Thank you, Rob, and thanks to the fine people of RNDC for support of our operation. All right, our last branch. See, this is quick tonight. And one I need to talk a little slower. The United States Marine Corps. Super fun. Where's all our Marine Corps veterans? The Marines, if you haven't noticed, are a proud bunch. If you want to find out why their motto is first to fight, call one of them an ex-Marine. The Marines are trained, organized, and equipped for offensive, amphibious, and land operations essential to the prosecution of naval campaigns. Fancy words. A lot of people make fun of Marines, but it's only because they deserve it. As is our tradition, our last pour of the evening is from Nathan Zog, a Marine Corps vet and a member of Hotel Tango. Working for Hotel Tango? Okay, friend of Travis. So he's pouring this evening Hotel Tango whiskey. Open up, pour it in. So whiskey is kind of gold in color, and then he's going to be pouring some Scarlet Punch. Scarlet and gold are the official colors of the United States Marine Corps. See how that worked in there? I'm not just another pretty face. And last but not least, he's going to add some sand from Iwo Jima. Hopefully. That's going to be hard to come out of there. We might have to add that later too. That's actually French. It needs a little bit more. So Nathan, I don't know if they told you or not, you get to be the sampler.
Nathan, all right.
You keep trying to pour the sugar in while Ashley gets you a cup. Here comes a cup. Stir it around pretty good. Stir around a little bit with the cup. And then you get to take the first drink. Go for it. Is it fit for consumption? Nathan said you didn't hear him. Everybody's going to want some. All right. Nicely done. Thank you. We thank Hotel Tango for all they do for our organization. We couldn't do it without you. All right. So the grog is now officially fit for consumption. So ladies and gentlemen, if you would, please stand at this time. Make sure you got something in your glasses to take a drink. We're going to offer two specific toasts. Hang on until I get my drink.
To those who have worn the cloth of our nation, hear, hear.
To the homeless at risk, veterans and their families who serve every day, the reason we gather.
Hear, hear. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Please be seated. This time, I'd like to introduce one of our biggest supporters and also a board member, President and CEO of PME Professional Management Services, Danny Cortez.
Okay, so by show of hands, how many of you, again, are new to HVAF? First time coming? Put your hands down. All my veterans on your feet. We got to get this number to go up so veterans pay attention. Veterans, attention! Present arms! Order, arms! Remain standing. We did that at ease. We did that because right now we need you. It's more of you in here than it is of us in here. Veterans, take your seat. So listen, for those of you who raised your hands, I challenge you to do the following. Make an appointment at HVAF and visit the clothes and the food pantry. Visit. You heard them say that they're giving away to 400 veterans in a month. In a month. The video that you've seen, we did not pause it. We did not stop it for you to see that line how it rotates, and then they come back on a Thursday, and the shelves are diminished and depleted. Right? So, by show of hands, how many of you I didn't want to stand back there anyway. Okay, so by show of hands, how many of you left home today, tell the truth, and you know in your cupboards today that you have canned goods in there that you have not touched in 30 days? Shame on all of us. By show of hands today, how many of you, because you know it's getting cold outside, you didn't need to go buy a coat because you have a coat already? Last one. By show of hands, how many of you, if by chance the weatherman is right and it snows in the morning, that you know that you have a warm pair of shoes, some socks, possibly some gloves? Okay. So right now, that number you see up there, our veterans, as you came in tonight, we have veterans that you might have drove right by, laying right in front of the Horizon House. I drove right by it. A veteran laying right at the door. Tonight. It's chilly outside. We have a holiday. Well, we have two holidays approaching. We have Thanksgiving and we have Christmas. Can we make that, oh, that's good. Can we make that number even get better? So table 15, we're going to start it off. Table 15, $1,000. Okay? But we got to make this number go. So right now, get your phones out, give me out. Give me out. Listen up, let's not really good. Because we have a lot of young people in here. If you're young, I get it. As an E7, when I retired, okay, I didn't have $1,000 to give, but $100. I'm telling you right now, you can ask HVAF. I would love to give you $500, but can I take that and divide that by 12? By 12 months? And guess what the answer is? Yes. That money comes in, is going to feed our veterans, it's going to put clothes in the clothes pantry, it's going to put food on the shelves, and we need that. So don't say today that we can't do $100, because that's nothing. So can I get somebody to raise their hand and say, you know what, I'm all in tonight. I'm going to give $500 to HVAC, even though I don't know where it's coming from yet. Anybody going to join me? $500? Anybody? $500. Thank you. Okay? I'm going to close right there. You know, I'm an Army guy too. So I see that number is paying $12 instead of $32. So we need to make sure that we surpass that number. We're getting there. So as you are departing tonight, do know that there's more of us out here in terms of veterans that you might not even realize. Freedom isn't free. Okay? We all did something to make sure that all of us can go home and have a quality of life. Please help us tonight. Please help us tonight. Again, $50, $25, if you're young, 18, 19 years old. Okay, I got one last trick. One last thing. I wrote that number. See, when they asked me to come up, I'm not a military officer, so I don't need to be correct up here. I'm that enlisted guy. So I thought about, if we can't get to that number, maybe I get up here and I take it off for y'all. We get to that number, right? We're going to get to that number. So let's get to that number.
Grog is fermenting right now. It's only going to be available at the bar over by the elevator. I did try to squeeze the little skirt up a little bit. Now it's my pleasure to announce that the formal ceremonies are complete. Let's get the DJ Nathan started. The cigar branding is open.